Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Tales from the Rails, Episode 56, Rusty's Line Repair. In springtime, you can find Rusty the Little Diesel repairing the line. Rusty makes sure every part of the line is fixed after the long winter. One day, Rusty was doing some routine maintenance, and then he arrived at the quarry. It had been closed for the day for maintenance for Rusty. He inspected everything, looking for loose rocks or damaged tracks. Rusty was just leaving the quarry when he went over some very bumpy tracks. He came to a sudden stop. Dear me, these tracks are extremely wobbly. It could be very dangerous. The workman looked at the tracks too, and then talked to Rusty. These repairs may take a while, and so we shall leave up signs and come back at a later date. Rusty agreed. They quickly put up the signs and left the site. But little did they know, they forgot to inform the signalman, and a train was coming that direction very soon. Meanwhile, Skarloey was peacefully making his way through the countryside. Little did he know what was in store ahead. Skarloey was enjoying himself. But when he rounded the bend, he smashed through a stop sign and began to derail at the high speed on the wobbly track. His driver and fireman had jumped clear before the wreck. Bother, said Skarloey. The day was going so well, too. Freddy soon arrived at the breakdown train and Skarloey was taken to the works.
If I may ask, Skarloey, what happened?
I don't know, said Skarloey. One second I'm on the rails having a good time, the next I'm coming off the rails due to bumpy tracks.
This wasn't your fault, Old Faithful. There was some problem with the point.
Because why would they send us onto a line with stop signs? You shall have to ask Rusty tonight. Well, if I go back to the sheds tonight, I shall have to ask him. Later on, Freddy puffed home to the sheds. Say, Rusty, what happened with Skarloey today? Next thing you know, he's going down the track, and then he's coming off the rails. There were some stop signs on the track, but the signal was not switched. Are you talking about the line over near the quarry? I inspected that today. We closed that line. Well, if you haven't heard, Skarloey came off the line there today. I guess the points weren't switched or something. Oh dear, I must have not alerted the signalman. Oh, silly me. That's my fault then. I should go have to apologize to Skarloey. So Rusty did. Skarloey was sitting sad and alone in the shed when Rusty appeared. I'm sorry about today's accident, Skarloey. I forgot to alert the signalman. Your accident's my fault. That should not have happened. Oh, that's alright, Rusty. Mistakes happen. Just make sure it doesn't happen again, because this accident even wasn't that bad. If it was in a rocky section, and something like this happened, it could be a lot worse. Rusty took this to mind. Rusty was on his way home when he spotted a solo shed on the way near Tidmouth. So that's where he decided to sleep that night. Right, he said to himself. No more accidents like today's. And he fell happily to sleep. The next day, Rusty was back on site, but the workmen really didn't need him. Don't worry, Rusty, but we don't need you here today. Mr. Percival has other jobs for you to do. Rusty was confused. Yeah, said another workman. I believe he said to go meet him at the transfer yards, and he'll tell you exactly what you need to do. Rusty obeyed and went to the transfer yards. Rusty was sent to do odd jobs. He liked the change, but missed his job of the regular fixing the line. Rusty had to stop at a V-switch, as Duncan was at the platform waiting for passengers. Oh, hello, Rusty. Nice to see you out and about, but you're not usually on this line. I should be helping out with repairing the line, but Mr. Percival has other jobs for me, apparently. Mr. Percival just wants you to do some other jobs today, that's all. Like me, I'm pulling passengers who think I'd be doing that after I left them on the viaduct. But that was a long time ago, and now is now. And that accident of Skarloey's was yesterday. Will I ever go back to repairing the line? Pah, Rusty, you fix lines better than anybody I've ever seen. You'll be back at it tomorrow. Don't worry. The guard's whistle blew, and Duncan puffed on his way. Goodbye, Rusty. Goodbye, Duncan. Thanks for the help. Rusty felt a lot better after this. And Duncan was right as Rusty returned to the repair site the next day. Good to have your back, Rusty. Oh boy, do we need your help. Rusty smiled. It's good to be back.